Hey YouTubers, it's Tony with Mayberry Mini Trucks. Today is Monday, June 30th, and I'm going to do the remaining 5 trucks in our shipment of 10 that we just received. So, um, in this shipment, we have a Mazda Bongo Bronny and then 4 mini trucks. A Mazda Bongo Bronny is a heavier duty diesel dually 4-wheel drive truck. Entirely different class of a truck, but we like to get them when they're nice. And we also have a dump. Um, the battery's bad, or the battery's dead, so it's running. But we'll video it nonetheless. But know that if the battery's bad, we'll replace it as we do on all our trucks. So with that said, if the battery is bad, we replace the battery. If the 4-wheel drive doesn't work, we fix the 4-wheel drive. We change the oil always with synthetic oil, even on the diesel. We use 15W40 full synthetic diesel engine oil. And then on the mini trucks, we use 5W30 full synthetic uh, engine oil as well. But on the diesel, we use full synthetic diesel engine oil, which is not cheap. It is expensive. But we've done that since day one. We've been in business for 15 years. And we started this whole thing. There was another person in Washington State way back. He's since passed away. And there was another guy in California and one guy down south, but they're all out of business. We came along in 2010 and began business and then really launched mini trucks in popularity because we got the law passed in North Carolina 6 years ago. We were the first one in the United States to get the law passed and make them street legal. We did that, and and here we are. Now mini trucks are really beginning to catch on. We helped Texas get their trucks codified and made street legal. I believe his name was David, and he contacted me probably a couple of years ago and said, I want to do this. People all over have contacted me, many states, but very few of them, well, only one of them was truly successful. Now Colorado in tranches is going to hopefully get their trucks made street legal. There's no reason they shouldn't be street legal because let's face it, motorcycles are street legal, right? Motorcycles are much less safe than a mini truck. No airbag on a motorcycle, no protection whatsoever on a motorcycle. So, since a mini truck has turn signals and horn and wipers and brake lights and all that, why shouldn't it be street legal? That was my position when I was speaking to the North Carolina State House and the North Carolina Senate. So, with that said, we will give you the title so that you can tag your truck if your state will tag trucks. Most states will. Out of 50 states, I think it's 34 states that I know will issue you a tag and a title to their state. And then there are no extra fees. And that's kind of a big deal because you know how when you go to a car dealer, they usually say, okay, you know, $8,200. And you're like, oh, I'll take it. I like it. And then you sit down to do the paperwork, and for some reason it's 9,800 or $10,200. And it's like, well, what happened? Why is it so much money? I thought it was 8,200. And they'll say, yeah, but there's tax, there's tag, there's title, there's admin fee, there's processing fee, there's dock fee. And they come up with all these tricks. We play no tricks, none. We never have. And I'm very proud of that because we always have put the price of the truck on the window, and that is all you pay, not a dime more. We've always been that way. And so I feel like that's how business should be. And so we are a no trick zone. We don't do that. So, all right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and let's get started. And please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the content of our video and our inventory, please hit the thumbs up and also hit notification. And notification will notify you when we post a video such as this one. All right, let's get started. The first vehicle is a Mazda Bongo Bronny. A Mazda Bongo Bronny um, is just a wonderful truck. It's quite a bit different than the mini truck. It is, here's the VIN number. So if you like it, go ahead and reference that number. But what makes a Mazda Bongo Bronny? Now we're going around the perimeter of the windshield. This is just stain, a rust stain. It got a rock chipped that paint right there. You can see the chip, and then it bled. So that will come out when we clean it. But what we're looking for is cancer. And here's another rock chip that the former owner dabbed with paint to try to protect it, and it did a good job. But what we're looking for is cancer. Again, another pebble peck, all pebble pecks. And this is actually a good sign, guys, because you see all the dabs of paint, like they took a Q-tip and dabbed touch-up paint everywhere that there was a pebble peck. And then there are some other pebble pecks that were subsequent to that. So that's a good sign because that means the previous owner was conscientious enough to try to care for his or her truck very carefully. So there you are. Um, that is my assessment after having owned over 8,000 Japanese vehicles. All right, so now this is the front of the truck. And I'm looking for dents, and we have one dent right there, an impression right there. The rest of it looks good. It is dent free, other than that impression right there. Coming down the door pillar, again, a dab of paint, a dab of paint, dab of paint, um, dab of paint, dab of paint. So everywhere where there was a pebble peck from the highway going dink, they dabbed it with paint. Again, I consider that a good thing, not a bad thing. All right, now we're looking for damage. Here, here, I'm gonna say that, well, I'm going to say that that was repaired. Something knocked that, and they put a light skim of body filler on that and then repainted that. That is my assessment there. But that's very minor. It's not like anything major or structural. And you can see there's a pebble peck there. That means there's no body filler there. So it's localized only to this little area right here. Now we do have a crease, small crease there. Other than that, the door looks quite nice. Okay. The tires are extremely nice. Very nice. Those are Bridgestones. And we have manual locking hubs. Now I am going to put this on free because, um, when we go to take it to the mechanic, we want to have it on free. I mean, you can have the hubs locked and drive it on the road, but in my opinion, it's better not to. Okay, so now we're going to come down the door post. Looks very nice. Look under the inner fender. And guys, that is beautiful. That looks very nice. Now we're going to look down the bedside panel. And guys, believe it or not, that is ding free. Check that out. That's incredible. That's your fuel tank. And of course, this holds diesel fuel because this is a diesel truck. And on the other side, I'll look under the bed. Let's look inside the bed. Guys, this is phenomenal. Look at the condition of this bed. Spectacular. And they also put protection of the rear of the cab. That's 316 stainless steel. 316 is the grade of the steel, not the thickness. I'm referring to the grade, meaning it will not rust. That's what 316 pretty much means, as opposed to 304 stainless steel, which will rust. Okay, so I'm not going to mess with that right now. The tailgate has a ding here, 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 and an impression there, a little larger than a ding. And of course, the paint where they slid, 2x4s in or whatever, is rubbed off. That's to be expected. 1,000 kilograms. That's 2,200 pounds payload capacity. Now, um, so here's what they did on this. This was sheet metal, but they put a very heavy uh, epoxy bed liner on the entire inside of the bed, which is really nice. But I want to look under the bed and see what it looks like underneath. That really matters a lot. Okay, meaning you don't want to just look at that and go, "Wow, that's beautiful. I'm done." We want to look underneath also. Okay, this bedside panel is just gorgeous. It has one ding right there. All right, nice tires. Now under the bed. So we're looking at the condition of the sheet metal under the bed, and that is just surface rust there. Very nice. Very nice. Beautiful. So yeah, the underside of the bed here is in very good condition. No cancer. That is what we're looking for. Yeah. Very nice, guys. So the underside of the bed is very nice, and it has a beautiful epoxy bed liner for protection, not to hide damage. All right. Um, what is this for? I have no earthly idea, but there is a reason, but it doesn't it might have been a cover that they had over it at one point. I don't really know. The roof looks good. Coming down the door post on the passenger side, so far that door is completely ding free. We have one ding right there. Uh this mirror is taped. So it's because it's floppy. Now, I don't know what the story is behind that, but that mirror is floppy, which means that um, the tensioner on the bottom of the mirror is probably broken. And the door panel, the door skin, if you will, on the inside is perfect. No chips or anything. That is a vent. Isn't that incredible? That's a vent. That is so nice. Now let's look under the door to see if there's any rust. No rust. No rust. All right, so that is the door step. And under the mat, it looks very pretty. That's I guess you'd call that the sub mat. This is the floor mat, and it's in really good condition, which is a good sign. The seat on the passenger side looks really good. I see some splits over there. I'll show you those a little closer in just a moment. The headliner is beautiful. Now we're going to come around. Yeah, that was probably, see, it's got the same latch on this side, and I see a rubber uh, bungee, and that means that that was almost certainly a um, for a cover. Okay, door panel here looks good, except the pocket is torn. I usually pull that pocket off at that point. It looks good with it removed. Um, I'm not going to do it right now. I have done it on my videos before, just remove it live, and it's always worked. I haven't ever had it blow up in my face. Left-hand threads are used for hub nuts or bolts on left side of this vehicle. There you go. When loosening, turn to right. Good information. Chrysler Corporation used to do that in the 1960s. That looks nice. No rust. Beautiful. Good floor mat. The seat here is pretty torn up on the driver's seat. So you can leave it like it is, get a seat cover and cover it, or take it out and have it recovered. That's one thing that we will not do because that's something that can be easily done in the United States. And we have many spinning plates on sticks. And so we don't try to take on more than we can handle. All right, let's see if the battery's good and it'll start. Oh, I thought that was in neutral. Put that wrong on me. All right, let's try that again. Now, this is your high idle adjustment. Now, guys, I got to tell you, if that air conditioning works, I will be absolutely floored. Let's give that a second. This truck actually came with air conditioning. So this truck came with AC, and on a Mazda Bongo Bronny, that's very, very rare. And for it to work is almost a never, ever thing. But I did hear the compressor engage, and I've had it happen once or twice before over the years. But let's see if that air's cold now. Unbelievable. Guys, the air conditioning on this Mazda Bongo Bronny works. Unreal. It works. Okay, next vehicle. Nice Mazda Bongo Bronny. Oh, the mileage. Almost forgot. 91073. So I'm going to say, um, so no, that's 54,000 plus. So I'm going to say 57, 58,000 miles on that. You take the kilometers and you multiply it by 0.621, and that's your mileage. So I'm going to say that's a pretty close call on the miles. All right, next is a DB52. DB52. There's the VIN number. Make reference to that number if you're interested in the truck. This is bird poop. That's all that is. Coming around the perimeter here, looking for damage. And there is no rust, no damage. Let's look at the hood for dings or dents. A beautiful bumper. You can see where they touched it up there and touched it up there. I like the white bumpers on a truck. No dings at all on the front of this truck, guys. Ding free. Ding free. The door pillar looks fantastic. The fender is ding free, and the door is ding free. Unbelievable. Guys, okay. So here is one of the most significant things in this video of this truck. That blue dot. That is a factory water-based dot of paint, which almost always gets rubbed off on the highway by, it gets sandblasted on the highway. It's still there, and it looks perfect. So let's see what the rest of the truck looks like. That is phenomenal. The inner fender on the driver's side. Guys, the bedside panel on the driver's side is ding free. Absolutely stunning. Stunning. Look at that. Look at that. Here's another wheel. Look how beautiful the paint is on the wheel and the blue paint dot. Look at the frame underneath the truck, guys. Look at the gold patina on the filler neck of that gas tank neck. That is a really important leading indicator. I use an economic term. I used to be a stockbroker, and a certified financial planner for 29 years. And I still use my financial lingo. All right. Now, this is a nice bed mat, but it belongs in a different truck. So we are going to take it out. Somebody at the port tossed it in this truck, but it doesn't belong in that truck. So, oh man, they just went hog wild here. Okay, let's. So the previous owner of this truck really was OCD. I thought I was OCD. Nope, I've been outdone by the previous owner of this truck. Look at what they did to protect the bed underneath. They put a piece of plywood. I have seen it before, but it's been a few years. Okay, come on. Got it. Now, let's lift this up. Look at this. They made a wooden shell so that the bed doesn't get damaged. That's my supposition. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, I gotta the sides down. Hang with me, guys. I like to be Mr. Thorough. I believe in caveat emptor. So that's what. Oh my word! Look at this perfection. Unbelievable. Look at that. Man, this is just, you could eat today's lunch on that thing. Man, is that nice. Same there. Look at that. Okay, so man, they even notched that so that can fit on there, but it's not glued together. It's just notched. That is called wood joinery. That is exceptional, in my opinion. All right, so now, so hat tip to the previous owner of this truck. Job well done. Very, very nice. Okay. This video is going a little long, but this truck is worthy of that kind of attention to detail. All right. So these bed mats, ah, I don't know that these bed mats go in here because certainly the previous owner did not want to have, that many bed mats in his truck or her truck. I don't know if, but I cannot put that back in because it weighs a ton and I only have one hand available. So let's continue. Okay, bedside panel is stunning. Tailgate has two dings. That's it. One, two. Look at the condition. Look at that. Look at the condition of the back of this truck. It is unbelievable. Now, this bedside panel, guys, is ding free. Look at the wheel, the paint dot, the tire. Look at the frame. Oh, a toolbox. Let's look inside of that toolbox and see if there's any, as I like to say, Japanese gold bullion. I feel like I'm in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let's see if there's any Japanese gold bullion in here. What do we have here? Wow, man, this is like an archaeological treasure. Look at that toolkit. And they even lined it with cardboard with a second piece of cardboard on the bottom. Man, these are tire chains. Look at those tire chains. I know they've never, ever, ever been used. Guys, whoever bought this truck, and look, It comes with Japanese newspaper. So here's what we're going to do with these tire chains. We're going to leave them. They're going to stay with this truck because they really deserve to stay with this truck. All right, so here we go. Tire chains. Back in the toolbox they go. And I'm going to flip this over so that it leans in that direction. There we go. What a treasure. And these are Japanese. This is a Japanese thing, these cloth gloves. Back they go. Man, oh man, guys. This is like King Tut's tomb. I'm still going with the Indiana Jones theme here. This is like Tutankhamun's tomb. Ah, Steve Martin made a song when I was a kid, and he called it King Tut. Do you remember that? Steve Martin singing King Tut. Oh, man, was he a goofball. All right, back to work. Back to work. This is the rear of the cab. It is absolutely gorgeous. Coming down the door post on the passenger side, the whole side is completely ding-free and flawless. And when I say flawless, I mean flawless. I am not one to exaggerate, ever. I do not do that. I don't exaggerate. I like to call it like it is, for better or worse. The door panel looks phenomenal. Just look at this, guys. Just look at this. I mean, everything is just unscathed. I can't come up with the adjectives. Look at that. Ah, I've run out of adjectives because of this truck. This truck has made me adjectiveless. All right, that goes up. I don't want to do that just yet because beautiful. Okay, guys. I have yet to find a single thing wrong with this truck. I think there was a ding or two, maybe two dings, I think, on the tailgate. Yeah, two dings. That's it. The whole truck. We have a pick here and a pick here on the driver's side interior door skin. Beautiful. No rust. Now, under this floor pan. Beautiful. Beautiful. And now you can see customs has been here because they don't secure the seat after they lift it up. That's what it looks like underneath. Beautiful. Now let's resecure it. And people ask me, how much are your trucks? You know, when I do these videos, and the answer is, I don't know. Because this just arrived. This just came off the boat, off of my delivery truck. So we don't know how much we paid for this truck. And since we don't know how much we paid for it, we don't know how much we're going to charge for it. So we price our trucks according to what we pay for our trucks. Okay, so it started right up. And if you're a big boy, this will be good news for you because it's easier. The egress is much easier than the previous generation truck. The mileage is 74.54. All right, well, there it is. This has 4,500 original miles. Guys, I want you to soak this up. 5-speed, 2-speed transfer case, 4-wheel drive. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 4,500 original miles. Let's look under the hood. Just because this is such a special unicorn truck. Oh, it's like brand new. Look at that. Oh my word. Guys, this is a unicorn. This is a unicorn. So, unicorn is a stunning truck that you show up to Cars and Coffee in, and everybody drools over it. That's this truck. Okay, next we have a Hijet S210P. There's the VIN number. There you go. Make reference to that if you like something you see or see something you like. Let me know if you see something you like, or let me know if you like something you see. I guess either one works. Coming around the perimeter here. Yep, that looks good. No rust around the windshield and no dents and no dings. That door light, that door, that headlight door is clear, clear, clear. Nice looking bumper. Another clear headlight coming down. The antenna is bent, but on a Daihatsu, it's a solid bar of stainless steel, so it can be bent back, and it's of no consequence. So, and that's only on a Daihatsu. You can bend it back, which is nice. The other ones are a tube of aluminum and sometimes stainless steel. All right. This door pillar is ding free, dent free. And we have just a couple touch-up spots where they had a paint scrape and they touched it up, which is a good sign. Guys, this door is ding-free. Ding-free. Nice looking tire. Beautiful under here. Look at that. That is fantastic. And we have a touch-up. No, we don't. That was dirt. Take it back. Guys, this bedside panel has a tiny, tiny ding here from the inside out and here from the inside out. But it's beautiful. It does have a ding here. See, those are tiny, tiny dings, but this ding is a ding. I'll show you what I mean by a ding. I think you can see it now, but it's small. A ding is tiny. It's like somebody lets go of a shopping cart at Food Lion or Wiggles or wherever you're located, and that is a ding, but it's of very little consequence. I don't want to make more of it than it is, but I do want to show you everything that I see. Now, see that? That's called seam rust, and seam rust is not a big deal. It's very common, but it's where things were spot welded and secured together. But where it matters, look at that. That's where your um, leaf spring tower is. Very nice. Now, the bed. This is dirt. That's all that is. Under the dirt is a beautiful seam. So where the bed meets the cab is very solid and the engine cover looks beautiful. The rear of the cab looks beautiful. The bed is incredible. Just a few scuffs. That's all that is, a couple of scuffs. The tailgate has a ding here, here, and here. Beautiful. And I don't know if you can hear the fan in the Honda going off, but that's because the battery was dead and I have it running. Really pretty rear of the truck. So I say it has a few dings, but look, it is really beautiful. It's not like the dings are anything notable or detrimental. They're just, I see them and I want to point them out. Okay. The bedside panel is ding free, guys. Ding free. Another nice tire, a very pretty wheel mud flap, which is, I think, fairly significant that the mud flap looks so good. Um, okay, it's just a lagging indicator of the life that this truck had. A crisp mud flap, lagging indicator. There's another economic term. Gone mini truck. Okay, beautiful. Look at the bottom side of that bed. That is a big deal right there. Coming down the passenger door post, it's beautiful. Looking for damage on this door. And guys, that doesn't have but one ding right there. This is a factory sheet metal construction bend. So I used to think that looks bent. It is bent on purpose at the factory. But this is a ding. Another nice wheel. Oh, a paint dot. You see how that one's, halfway or three quarters of it is still there. So that's a good harbinger. Nice. Harbinger, another interesting word. Harbinger can be good or bad, but most people use it in a negative connotation. The bottom of the door here is beautiful, no rust. And here we have a gorgeous floor pan. Look at that. Under the floor mats is a really important place to look. You don't want to just look at the surface. You want to look underneath. You want to look under here. You want to look under the floor mats. You want to see where we don't normally look because an important story needs to be told from that standpoint. The passenger seat is gorgeous. Huh. Look at this, examined by customs. I want to show you something. Customs took out the dashboard. See that dashboard bolt? They didn't even tighten it back up. This goes there to cover that bolt. So this needs to be retightened. And customs, if you don't mind, guys, would you tighten up the bolts when you redo them? I mean, really, what if we didn't see that? Anyway, I doubt customs is watching my video, but if you are, you guys are great. I love you. All right, back to work. Man, oh man. If Customs was watching this, they're probably saying, okay, let's go after this guy. He's making fun of us. All right, all right. So the door panel is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. No rust at all. Look at that pretty floor pan. That's just dirt. Dirt from, use. You can see they lifted the seat and did not put it back. They didn't latch it, but the seat's pulled forward, so I can't really lift it all the way because it hits the steering wheel. The seat needs to be moved back. Um, huh. Wow. Whoops. Cool. Laminated signs. That's pretty amazing. Okay, those must be spare keys. And here is the main key. So this truck actually has spare keys. That is unusual. You almost never see spare keys. This is a 5-speed four-wheel drive with a high and low transfer case. That's the four-wheel drive switch that turns that green light on and now off. This truck has 39,629 kilometers. So we'll just call that 25,000 miles. What a beautiful, beautiful truck. What a beautiful, beautiful truck. Is it a unicorn? Let's see. Let me go back over this. Um, huh, just some infinitesimally small dings on the tailgate. The door had one tiny ding. Oh, yeah, definitely. This is a unicorn. Another unicorn. Unbelievable. Now, I don't use unicorn lightly. I make sure if I call it a unicorn, it's a unicorn. And this is a unicorn. And this is a unicorn. A unicorn, again, is a remarkable truck. These two trucks are in remarkable condition. And if you've watched my videos over the years, you know I'm very careful using that word. I don't like to throw it around just to make people like something. I say it's a unicorn only if it actually is one. So now we have a Honda HA4, and there's the VIN number. And this is a broken windshield. Now, Mayberry mini trucks Imports windshields too. So we imported multitudinous windshields on a container recently, or a couple containers. And not only that, we imported Yokohama Geolanders. No, yeah, Yokohama Geolanders, which are a really nice tread tire, and it's not too rough, and it's not a highway radial. It's somewhere in between an aggressive tire and a highway radial. It's a nice, um, it's a nice middle of the road. It's an intermediate tread design. There you go. Where it's better off road, but it's still DOT approved. So our Geolanders do have the DOT stamp on them. And so I say all that to say this: we have that windshield, so we need to replace that windshield. Okay, and now we're going to go around the perimeter to look at the condition of where the windshield meets the body of the truck. Mhm. Looking for rust. There is none. No rust. This is dirty, so we have to get out our buffer and buff that with, wax it, and however our guide is doing it. I used to be the one that does all this. I used to change the oil on everything. I used to change the air filters. I used to do everything to the trucks. And Stephanie did the paperwork. Actually, I did the paperwork and the trucks initially. And then Stephanie joined in. And then she started taking over the administrative stuff and all the paperwork and stuff like that. And 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 now we've grown so much. I mean, we were the only people around that imported mini trucks, and we did it really, really well. I mean, we still do today. We don't cut corners because it's a matter of just pride in your business. What are you? Are you legitimate? Are you really the best, or you just try to trick people into thinking you're good? Well, we actually do it and let people in the internet world, talk to each other and say, hey, I did business with Mayberry Mini Trucks and they treated me fairly. And that is the best advertisement there is. So anyway, boy, am I going down a rabbit hole. I'm so bad for that. All right. Now, dings. We have a ding right there. Scratch there, coming down the door pillar. Wow. Wow, wow. Not a not 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 a single ding. Amazing. That's ding free. Unbelievable. Oh, so this tread pattern is kind of like the Yokohama Geolander. I think that's a caterpillar. Oh, blue paint dot, guys. That's kind of nice. All right, here's the condition of the inner fender. Very good. The bed side panel has four dings. One, two, three, four. Four dings. The bed, guys, the bed is stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. Why do I say it when it looks dirty? Well, because I'm looking past the dirt. Let me show you what I mean. When you rub this dirt off, you have beautiful paint underneath. Okay? I know that is a number one condition substrate. And the engine cover, same thing. The rear of the cab, same thing. This is going to clean up and be absolutely gorgeous. Let's look underneath. It's hard to do on a Honda HA4 because it's a unibody, but there it is. That's what you can see on a Honda. It looks great. The tailgate has a ding there and a dent like a pear-sized dent right there. No, nectarine size. There's your plastic. Very nice. Beautiful there too. And now the bedside panel. I'm gonna say it's sting free, but it has an extremely faint, I mean extremely faint. Guys, that's ding free. It's ding free, but you can just barely see an extremely faint little impression along the way, like right there. But so if you come here and look at this, you will see there's something extremely faint there. I guess right there is where it begins and right there is where it ends, but it's almost sting free. So there you go. There's my very best to represent that accurately. Okay, looks good under there. The rear of the cab is phenomenal. Beautiful. The door post on the passenger side coming down is in good condition. Ding free, guys. Ding free. That is incredible. Amazing. There's the wheel on this side. Again, the paint dot, that's pretty significant. That is why the bed is so nice, because that paint dot is there. That is a factory water-based paint dot. And if that thing is still on this wheel, that means the rest of the truck is beautiful. All right, now, okay, look at this. Here's the battery cover. That obviously goes right there. We're going to do that. And these are the bolts for the battery cover. Now, these little bolts, guys, are like gold nuggets, okay? These bolts are gold nuggets, not to be lost. Why? Because you'll never find them again. I mean, they are so hard to find. And they're a Honda factory item. So be very careful not to lose those. All right, seat is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful. Those are your license plate bolts right there. The door panel on the inside of the passenger door is gorgeous, meaning it's not even faded. It's not even faded. Here's the bottom of the door. It is beautiful. Underneath the floor mat is your soundproofing, which is in phenomenal condition. Nice Honda mat, and it's notched. So if you have water on your boots, it drains out here. Now coming around to the other side, you can hear the fan. I think you can hear that. The fan turning on and off, cooling the radiator, working properly. Nice door panel on this side also. Looking under the door, no rust. Now, under here, beautiful. Beautiful. The seat looks gorgeous, guys. Absolutely gorgeous. 32,344. Guys, that's like 21,000 original miles. 5 speed, of course. The Hondas are 5 speed. Man, is this nice. There's your jack. This one has a branch cutter. Somebody in Japan carried a little saw. Look at that. And what is this? Ooh, a scythe. I think that's called a scythe or a scythe, something like that. That's going to stay in this truck because it belongs here. In my opinion, it belongs here. And I'm the owner, so I get to say that kind of thing. All right, guys, now we're going to shut it off. I had it running because the battery was dead. Um, so that I don't want to try starting it again because that will take power from the battery. And we want to preserve what juice has been put into the battery. Okay, now we have a Daihatsu dump. This is an S83P. There's the VIN number. And this battery was also dead. So same story. It has pebble pecks, pebble peck, pebble peck, pebble peck, pebble peck. When you're on the highway and a pebble goes doink, and then you have a little bleeding, surface rust. But that will almost all clean up, and it will look 10 times better when we clean it. But the main thing is it has no cancer around the periphery of the windshield. It's solid. The only thing is surface rust where a pebble flicked and chipped the paint. All right, now we're going to look across. Oh, climber. That means differential lock. This, as far as dings are concerned, looks beautiful. There's not a single ding on the front of this truck. It does have pebble pecks. Same thing on the front of the truck, just pebble pecks. Pretty inconsequential, but I want to make sure you're aware of that. I say put this antenna down because you don't want to hook that when you're in reverse and hook it on a branch and snap it off. We have a ding there. That's a mark. That's not a ding or a dent. We have a ding there. So we have a ding there, a tiny ding there, and a ding there. There's 3 dings on that door. We have a little crease right there. All right. Now, the bed is raised. The battery was dead. So the bed is up. This is your safety for when you're going to put the bed up and work on it. You put that over there so the bed doesn't fall down on you. So let me go show you under here. So this is in fantastic condition. And this is a PTO dump, meaning there is a on the other side, there's a drive shaft coming out of the transmission. And this has phenomenal tires on it. And the bed side panel is in excellent condition. A ding right there. The bed itself is in remarkable shape, meaning it's not eaten up with rust at all. Beautiful. It also has a stainless steel plate over the headache rack, which I consider that to be a big plus. And here is the opposing or the obverse side of that headache rack. And this tailgate will release, except I'm not in a position. It hasn't been open for ages. Oh no. Okay, they have a factory. There's an option at the factory to lock it, and this has the lock on it. I take it back. So you have to unlock it, and then the tailgate will swing open and become a gravel tailgate. So this bedside panel here looks very nice. Just got a ding here and a ding here that I could see. This does fold down. So this latch opens and allows it to fold down when you have opened this latch here. Okay, then it will fold down. In fact, why don't I just show you? There you go. That's how it folds down. And then you go like that, and then like that. Okay, so now another nice wheel and tire. The rear of the cab looks fantastic. Under here again is just stunning underneath the bed. No rust at all. That is your differential lock unit right there. This is your hydraulic pump that is driven by a shaft that comes out. That's what makes it a PTO. And to lower the bed, you push this PTO lever forward. Watch this. So you push that forward, and that allows the bed to go down, and it is lowering. I don't know that I have it pushed down forward all the way, but it is going down, albeit slowly. Okay, so that is nice. Now the door. Did I look at this? I don't think I did. Okay, the door has a ding here, tiny, and it has an impression there. That's a dent. Nice tire. Here's the inner fender. Looks very nice. And I'm being cognizant of this bed. You don't want to get in the way of a descending bed on a dump. You have to be very careful. So you just stand clear until it's lowered. Now, the door skin on the inside of the passenger door is in beautiful condition. All right. Now, the door is in phenomenal shape, and the truck just ran out of gas. I left it running too long, and it's out of gas. So, guys, we need to put gas in this truck, and then it'll fire up. Underneath the floor mat is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The seat is not torn. Jumper box over here. Sorry, guys. Okay, now we're going to look at the driver's side. And the inside of this door panel is pretty darn remarkable. No tears, no picks. Now, the bottom of this door looks fantastic. Under the floor mat, all right, that goes actually like that. Good. Now we'll look under the floor mat, and it's beautiful. No rust at all. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. The seat is not even torn. That's remarkable. That is a really nice indicator of the condition of the truck. This is your differential lock switch. This was a toggle for a light that was on the back of the cab, and there is the wire. No, there's our wire for the light. It was probably mounted there and was removed for whatever reason. I have no idea. The mileage is 35,194. The kilometers. The kilometers are 35,194. And that is between 18 and 24, 22. That's 22,000 miles. Maybe 23,000 miles. This is a 4-speed with a high and low transfer case. That is the PTO actuating lever for your PTO dump. And of course, we'll show you how to operate the PTO dump if you get this truck. So, guys, that concludes our very thorough video. We had 2 unicorns and and 3 other nice trucks. So, guys, thank you for watching our video. And that is how we do it at Mayberry Mini Trucks. I go over the top with showing the detail about each and every vehicle once it hits the ground. And again, we don't know the price of these trucks yet because we don't even know what we paid for them. So please do keep that in mind because I do get that a lot. How much is the truck? Well, we have no idea. It just hit the ground. So bear that in mind. Otherwise, obviously, we'd be happy to tell you how much the truck is. We're just not there yet in the process. These will be serviced with the new oil, synthetic oil, oil filter, air filter. We're going to road test them to see what's wrong with them, replace the windshield in that Honda because it's broken and the mirror on this one or whatever the case may be, and get them dialed in. Guys, please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification button so you'll be notified when we post a video, and hit thumbs up if you like the content of our video. And thank you for watching.